I'm going to come at it from the perspective of the folks, the customers I've been talking to, and some of the prospects as well. And it's very complementary, or in fact, amplifying some of what Angie said. In general, if I were to look at AI adoption, we're still in the early stages, and for folks who understand baseball, it's like early innings, first or second inning. For folks who play cricket, other games, it's like very early, the first few overs of a cricket test match, right? Some companies are farther ahead than others. Some folks are experimenting with AI to see where it fits in their testing lifecycle. Nobody's standing still. Everybody knows the urgency with which they have to move. They know that AI is going to help them deliver faster because the engineering team, the developers, are going super fast. And some of them are just looking to see, okay, how can we go faster? How can we go more efficiently with the right amount of testing, to the way Angie said, so that we're covering and the right, all of the surface area that's exposed, and what aspects of the testing lifecycle should be automated, right? I see it being used for test case design from specs, test data generation, and then testing scenarios with various data and input combinations. That seems to be a place where a lot of people are starting. I also see it being used for test case authoring and generating code. This is a small group, but it's growing really fast. A lot of people are having success and are starting to make sense of how to go, carry out their testing to keep up with the development pace, the rapid pace at which developers are going. And then I see a lot of folks also using them for test execution, but very few are doing test case selection, right? When the app changes, when certain code changes happen, I see a small group thinking about the problem of, okay, do we need to run everything, or can we just selectively run the parts of the test, that are actually relevant based on the code changes and based on the blast radius, right? And very few, and these are companies with incredibly, great software depth and talent, are actually on the path to building agents. And Angie's living this every day. She'll likely speak more eloquently to this than I would. But I see a few of our customers building agentic solutions for different aspects of their testing lifecycle. But in general, it'd be fair to say, and let alone have autonomous systems, right? That's the eventual nirvana goal we're all headed to. But I think it would be fair to say that AI is just compressing the testing life cycles, and the feedback loop that used to be there earlier, that's gone. And testing teams are imagining, hey, what should I test? Because now they have code that's written by humans in some places, but in a lot of places, it's all AI generated code. And what they're missing is that they're generating a lot of tests, but don't necessarily understand it. And so they have a lot of quantity, but they don't necessarily have the quality. And end-to-end tests, when all of these pieces come together, in real life conditions, is still a challenge for LLMs, right? And then what to test is another enigma, right? And that requires that you know the domain and you understand the risk tolerance of the organization for what is acceptable to be failure in production. And then ultimately, what the other part they're missing is who's accountable, right? Who are responsible for the AI-generated tests that misses something critical. So these are some of the more problematic aspects of AI and testing that we're all wrestling with and observing, because we all both have a front side seat to this game being played out.